guys, so we've got the Golf 7 here, the Mark 7. We had a code U0101, which means unable to communicate with the TCM or the DSG, the Mechatronics, whatever. So nonetheless, I just want to give you guys the possible things and that I've checked. The first thing that was confusing with this car, as you can see, I've stripped everything, carpets, everything, check all the ground points and everything like that. What would happen is it won't go out of park. Symptoms are it won't go out of park. When you press in on that, it would refuse to go out of park. And then on the dash, on the cluster, it would not show P. So what would happen with it? It would throw a bunch of faults like ESC, tire pressure monitoring system, ABS, and all the works. It would throw all these parking sensors, headlights, auto leveling, whatever. So it would throw all such faults. And whenever it threw that faults, the gearbox would disconnect. The gearbox would lose connection to the gearbox. So I literally could not understand where are these systems meeting up with the gearbox. I went all the way to the gateway as well to check those things as well. We've replaced the gateway module on this car, and then with the gateway module replaced, I then had to come to the point. Reason why we replaced the gateway module, which is this one, whenever you press the gateway module in a specific angle like that, all these other faults would go out, and then it could be able to be, it could be able to be, it could work for a few seconds and then disconnect. So it started doing this as an intermittent fault. The client would complain about it, that he would get somewhere, park his car, and then when it started, there is no P showing on the dash and the car does not go out of park. And then after that, he would then switch the car off and then start it again. And then once it starts up, then the car would work. And then eventually he parked somewhere and it would refuse to get out of park. Sometimes it would not start as well. So there are times where I had to start it on the relay starter that side, but nonetheless, I managed to, when you clear the faults, it was able to start. So yeah, so I've checked the wiring. I checked the wiring all the way from the Mechatronics. So the Mechatronics has got a couple of wires. The four thick wires, two of them are ground. Two of them are positive. Let me just show you here. I'll show you right over here. I think I've got the plug here. All right, so on here, these are two positive, these are two ground wires, and then you've got the orange ones. The orange ones go straight to a joint inside the car. They go over here, and then they go into the joint inside the car at the bottom there. Let me show you the joint so that you can see it, because sometimes it can happen that you find that your issue is there. So you might want to check this joint over here and check for continuity, disconnected. These wires are the wires that go straight to the Mechatronics unit. And so I checked for continuity, it was fine here. I checked all these wires. I did discover as well that the car has got a leaking roof on here, so in the sense that the drainers are blocked, and so the water comes down the A pillar and goes under there. So when I removed the carpet, there was water there, but nonetheless, checked the wiring from there all the way to the CAN gateway, and that was fine. So the issue now with the ECM, or the TCM rather, the Mechatronics unit unable to connect, these two wires go there. This violet and black wire here, this one goes directly to the shift knob right there, in the shift knob. It goes on there onto the shift unit to communicate with the Mechatronics. And then two wires here, those two wires here, the white and violet one and the black one, those ones goes onto the ECM. So those ones I checked for continuity as well. They were fine, so I knew that my wiring was fine. These two positive wires, they come from this 30 amp fuse. This 30 amp fuse has got one wire that splits up into two, comes here, and these two as well. It's a ground, comes as one wire and then splits up into two. This one, the power was fine. Now, I did also have another Mechatronics unit, two in fact, that I tried to connect into this car to just plug it in and just see if I can see the communication. One of the symptoms that you're going to see a symptom that the P is going to be flashing constantly right over there to show you that it cannot communicate. So on the gear lever, it would flash the P, on the dash, it would not show anything. So that's what you would notice as your symptoms there. So after searching and programming in the CAN gateway, I now found that the issue that I have, these lights that I was getting, the all these traction control lights, the parking system and hand parking, electronic parking brake faults, it was throwing out these faults, and yet the system seems to be fine. However, those things had nothing to do with the TCU, with the TCM. You know, it had nothing to do with the Mechatronics unit, because it should be able to drive with the Mechatronics unit connected to the car, regardless of the faults that were appearing there. So I was trying to link them, because every time it would come back, it would just throw that, okay, I can see the Mechatronics unit, and then disconnect briefly. So I managed to see that. And so now I ended up removing the Mechatronics unit from the car. Let me show you the Mechatronics unit here so that you can see it. So I opened up this cover right over here in the Mechatronics unit. This is a T10. And I'm going to show you right over here. So when you see here, these two guys here, these were the guys that are loose. They are actually still loose now. You can see them. I haven't soldered them on right now. I'm about to do that. These guys are loose, as you can see here. They're like not connected at all. You can see that. There was another one that I saw here. Where is he? Where is that culprit? Okay, there was one that I saw that is not connected, which needs to be soldered on. I think it's this one. Is it? Yeah, it is this one. Is it? I'm not sure now. No, it's not that one. But there was one more that was okay. That one that was not connected, it didn't give me that much of an issue, because oh yeah, it's this one now. I got it. It's this guy. This is the guy that's remaining here. That needs to be soldered on there. So it's 1, 2, 3 that needs to be soldered on there. So whenever it would heat up and whatever. And on top of that, I found this liquid here. I found it sitting right here at the bottom like that. And it's supposed to be covering this whole area. So it shows you that at some point this gearbox overheated. And you can even see it's been working for a very long time. You can even see the lid on there. So you can see the color of this. This is usually clear. And as it goes on there, it's meant to sit like that, you know, like this part. It's meant to sit like that, but it's not doing that. So it overheated at some point. You can see the gearbox itself overheated. There was a time probably where it ran without oil or something. I don't know, not enough oil. I have no idea. So now I'm going to solder this guy up and then plug it in, and then just see if we can communicate with a TCU. We should be able to communicate. I'm going to solder it now and then take it from there. I'll just give you guys some feedback. I'll show you as we test the car. Then we can, as we plug it in, and then go to the front and see if we can see the park. It should be giving us a solid P on the gear selector thingy to show that it's communicating with the gearbox. So just connected the battery, just connected this guy here, the plug over here. I haven't closed this lids here. You can see that I did some welding over there on those two talked about. Then I want to show you something here. So now when we switch the car on, you can see that despite the faults that are there, we've got a solid P over here. I'm just trying to close the door here so that you can see that the vehicle will show you that it is on park, because usually that's the first thing you wouldn't see there. You see that it shows that it's on park here. I don't want to, okay, you can shift the gear knob. I'm shifting it a little bit. You can see that it's writing everything here. I don't want to shift it too much because there's still no oil inside there. I still need to put in oil, and then I need to program this guy in. So yeah, so that's how you solve the U0101 nightmare of a code that took me a long time to figure out, and a lot of stripping to do to double check the wiring and stuff like that. So yeah, now I'm just gonna seal it up properly here, and then put it back, wait for oil. In fact, I need to first put in new Mechatronics oil, then put in Gearbox oil, put back all the assembly here, do all that stuff, then we're good to go. So this is the guy that we had an issue with the TCU communication, fault code U0101. Let me just show you the results of our welding inside there. Right, you can see here it's written P, and if I try to go forward, and it's this, the gear stick moves now, because it was stuck in P, but there it goes, D1. It goes forward, and then you can go to reverse, and then there it is. We are moving. So we're doing good, guys. So yeah, so that's how you fix that issue. Contact us for any of these issues, guys. Let us know, and then we can be able to assist you. This one is just ready now for the client to collect. Everything is a-okay. We are ready to drive. It's ready to drive, so he's coming through. I'm just letting it idle now so that it picks up his battery, and then otherwise everything is okay. I've test driven this guy. I think I've test driven it for around 100 k's or so. But boosting, obviously, it is already staged. We've staged it. It's on stage 1, and we did pops and bangs on it as well. Yeah, so it's looking good, guys.